All right. I had to handle a bit of an emergency for the company tonight. Hence why I'm up and it's 3:33 a.m. Thank you, Cynthia, one of the owners of our company, who helped me with that assessment. But here's what, it's not why we're here. I wanted to do this so while I saw it because it's incredibly important and valuable for everybody to realize that this is why we don't chase vanity metrics. This is why we don't dedicate ourselves to strategies without thinking them really well through. And I've seen this time and time again, so many opportunities that are blown because you follow who you think is just amazing or whatever. And they are amazing at a lot of things, but it doesn't make all their strategies on point. So the podcast host, I have extreme respect for this brand. They do very well on Google. I never bought from them. I don't know anybody who has bought from them. I'm sure they have plenty of clients. But as I got this email, ever tried a podcast collaboration to kickstart your growth? And I go through it and I'm like, I don't have time for this. I'm like, all right, I got to give him a shot. And his email is very hard to read. I figure, well, maybe he's from like Great Britain or something. And bingo, he's not from the United States. So the English is just different. And I was like, all right, well, he gets to a long point to get to a long story of how he builds his network up over years. And then he tries to convince you that maybe you can do this fast. And that's fine. I agree with the years aspect. All right, I know, but he's put all this work into this email, right? And the email goes and goes and it gets you onto this video for the detail. And it's a great idea, right? Everybody go watch the video. And those who do, like, comment. And everybody else who comments, like, you'll be able to collaborate with them through this. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, I don't have time for this. And I'm worried because if I do make time for this and there's a bunch of people involved, then how am I going to make time for all those appointments and everything else that's going on, and Christmas is coming up and but I kind of want to honor this guy because of how much work he's gone into putting this together and everything else that he puts together. So I click on this and I go check out the video, right? And so, I clicked on it just enough to see, yeah, he's got that deep, heavy accent. So I was right about him not being from America, which is why I can't read the email very well. And he got 5,000 subscribers. It's something to balk at, but check this out. This video was launched 3 days ago, right? This campaign is more than 16 hours ago, and it's only generated one person who wrote on this about their podcast. And again, only has 39 total views, which includes mine. The amount of time and attention to detail, I don't want to call it wasted. That's disrespectful. I wouldn't waste my time on this though. So that's what I'm trying to get at. It's like, I wouldn't guide somebody to follow this process. That's insane. The amount of time and attention dedicated to building up the brand and trying to get that email copy right. Or worse, he might admit, I didn't spend a lot of time on it. It's like, well, no wonder it was that bad of an email. Or it's like, oh, like, thanks for letting us know. Like, now we know you don't really care. You're just putting stuff out fast and you're on you're running full speed on your content treadmill. Like, there's really not a winning scenario for this to look good or feel good. I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's other aspects of this, but if he didn't write it himself, right? If a virtual assistant wrote this, that's powerful. I'm cool with that. Like that, good stuff. If somebody else formatted this too and he didn't do it, okay, cool. I can get behind that. Like well done. But it just doesn't seem that way. The story is way too personal for that to be the case. And, maybe he's crushing it and living big and has everything he ever wants and doesn't need anything else. And he's got $40,000 a month coming in with, $4 million in the bank account, everything else taken care of in his life. And he can take off whenever he wants. And if all those aspects are true, fantastic. The problem is, there's too many people pretending that all those aspects are true in the market right now for me to get excited and for me to feel that it's credible. I don't believe people's exteriors anymore. I don't have the capacity. I don't think most people do. I think we all know that there's just too much charading taking place. And the reason why I recorded this for you, team, is because we don't do that. We need to be following strategies and only implementing systems that are guiding towards sustainability and that are cultivating long-term results. Anything that is overhyped and overpromised and overrushed, I'm not interested in. And I don't think the market's very interested in it anymore. I know that the most important of the market that we're really after, not only are they not interested, and well, they're not even turned off by it anymore. They don't pay attention to it. That's why I don't open emails like this. So Colin Gray, this guy, like now that I opened this email and I saw where it's at and I saw that no, it's not actually going to really move the needle, I'm not going to be interested in opening his emails very much anymore. I'll keep subscribed, but I'm going to probably, in fact, I'll do it right now. What I do in those cases is I filter messages like these. It says from, right? And then I'm going to hit create filter, skip my inbox, mark as read, apply to courses and funnels. Why would I do that? Because when I need inspiration for my own content, or when my writers, future writers, need inspiration for the content they're producing, thanks, Colin, we'll know what to look at. And when we want to get in touch with Colin and create a real relationship and do something of a collaborative nature that actually drives the needle forward in droves, like I'm going to be grateful that I had access to his emails that I can evaluate too what type of personality he is, what type of strategy he follows, how consistent he is at what he does. So there's a lot of value to filtering people's lists into my courses and funnels container rather than just unsubscribing. And that may or may not hurt their conversions. Well, if you're worried about your conversions so much, then stop emailing all of us. Look at your open rates. And instead, like, in fact, Alex shared this on the podcast this last week. If you're not getting great open rates, then unsubscribe people after 3 emails or so of non-openings, and that will retain the integrity of your correspondence with people and your email systems. So a lot of people doing the email game wrong, especially those who pretend they're doing it right. And that's why we don't jump on that treadmill.